Hi, welcome back to Counterpoint. I'm your host, Riley Horan, and today we are joined by my mother, Kate Horan. Hi, Kate, welcome.
Thank you, son. I'm so glad to be here. It's an honor that you picked me today.
Yeah, of course. So, how have you been lately?
I've been a little sick. A crazy thing happened to me. The doctors kind of overdosed me. I went to two doctors, and they didn't know that one doctor gave me antibiotics, and then the other doctor gave me antibiotics. So I was pretty doped up.
Yeah, no, I thought it was crazy when I heard that the doctors double dosed you on antibiotics, and did they double dose you on steroids too, or how did that situation pan out?
Well, the funny thing is they found out that they needed to give me shots, so they gave me a shot for pneumonia, a shot for the flu, and a shot for tetanus. So they gave me all three shots at once and the antibiotics. So yeah, I was out of it for a week.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we're glad to have you back here. Um, talking all nice and big. I think we had you on the show last time for a little segment on Japan. Um, we were talking about traveling that time. How do you feel about traveling? What's your journey with traveling?
I love traveling. I've done a lot of traveling. I started when I was 35, and I've been around the world, and I really enjoy it. I've been to a lot of places. I think about 35 different places, and I love it. I have a deep passion for it.
I know this is gonna be a tough one, but if you had to pick a favorite, or we'll say top three favorites, what are your favorite places that you've been to?
That is hard because I've been to a lot of wonderful, beautiful places, but I think my top three would have to be Bali, New Zealand, and Chile.
Okay, that's a solid top three. Let's dive into Bali because I was actually on that trip. I had so much fun. Why don't we tell them how we got to Bali?
Yeah, that is an interesting thing. How we got to Bali is we were in Texas and my mom wasn't doing well, and my mom is the big reason why I became a traveler. And she was in the hospital, and I could tell that she didn't want to be there, and I could tell in her eyes that she just wanted to travel. So when we got back to Bali, we were watching the show that said the most greatest places to travel, the most amazing places to travel, and it was introducing Bali. And it was these three young people, and one was the least expensive, and what was it? The least expensive luxury experience. And so this girl came, and they had this bird's nest, and it was in the middle of this rice field, and you had to walk a mile, and you had to do. There was these bamboo poles, and there was these little holes, and you had to walk like four. I think it was like 50 feet or 75 feet up, and she was scared of heights, but she walked up there, and there was this beautiful open uh like wicker basket, and it was just beautiful up there. And so it was just a beautiful view, but she didn't want to go up there because she was afraid of heights. And she said, "Yeah, you wouldn't believe the price." And I was like, "Yeah, what's the price?" And she said $25. And I was like, "Yeah, right." So I grabbed my phone, and I said, "No way." And I looked at the price, and it was right. It was $25. And you looked at me, and I said, "What would my mom do?" And I started to book it. And you looked at me, and I booked it.
Yeah, no, I remember that. It was crazy because I was sitting right there on the couch, and and Kate's just kind of like on her phone as we're watching the show and keeps looking at me, and I'm like, okay, what's that about? And they say $15, and her eyes light up. $15. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, oh shit, we're going to Bali now. And sure enough, I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And right then and there, she booked the place right there immediately.
And he said, Mom, we don't have a passport. And I said, well, you know what? We're going to get one. And he said, Mom, we don't have any tickets. And I said, guess what? We're going to get some tickets. So, yeah, we did kind of the horse before the cart type thing.
Yeah, yeah, no, it was it was certainly an experience. I remember I was so stressed that we didn't have tickets, like airplane tickets, and yet we did have like all the places booked out to where we could stay, and we didn't even have a passport at that time.
And did you remember that it was during COVID?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was during COVID for sure.
And the funny thing is when we booked the tickets, I didn't realize that it still wasn't opened. And so when we got the tickets, they got it opened just in time. And when we got there was no one there. And so that was lucky for us. And so one thing that we realized is that we were going, because it's just for tourists. And so when we got there, we were like, you know what? We're really going to take care of these people because they rely on tourists. And so we brought, money. We didn't have a lot of money, but we made sure that we were going to take care of these people.
Yeah, it was kind of rough to see. I mean, honestly, the economy in Bali, I mean, the economy in all of Indonesia has always been, going up and down, especially during COVID. They were hit so hard, especially Bali. It's such a, you know, driven by people who are going there on vacation. And so it was rough really being there right after COVID ended and seeing all these people who are like everyone was desperate. They needed that money because there had been such a complete cutoff of tourism, and that was their life before COVID, and it is now after COVID.
But you know what I loved, Riley, was they weren't complaining. They were such kind, gracious people, and they were just so loving about it. But that was the thing is that you wanted to give to them, and remember Mahdi, our driver. We gave to them, and he was like, Kate, you gave me too much money, and I said, Mahdi, you need this money, and he's like, but you gave us too much money. And he drove us around for 3 days. And, we wanted to have him sit with us and have a meal with us. And they weren't supposed to eat with us, and we finally talked him into sitting with us. And, he would take us to the places that were authentic. And, I would say, please take us to a rice field that's not so crowded. And he would laugh and he would say, but Kate, you were a tourist. And I said, I know, but I don't want to go to the tourist places. So he would take us to a rice field that wasn't crowded, and then I would say, oh, can you take us to those places where, there's the swing so I could get the pictures? And so he would take us to a place that didn't have anybody, and he would just be so gracious and kind, and he told us the most wonderful stories, and I remember one time he would talk about our families and oh, do you live with your families? And I said, oh no, my families live in this state and that state. And he was just so perplexed because his family lived like within a block. And he said, I don't understand, why does your family not live so close? And that sat with me for my whole, for a long time, and it still does. That our families don't live so close, and his families, that everything, and don't you think, Riley, that that's something?
Yeah, I think it was fascinating being there. I mean, I've lived in America my whole life, and so the culture shock was definitely so visceral. Like just talking to people, and and then being like, oh yeah, no, we don't all have our own houses across the nation. We all live in this one compound. And we're every night we're going around, and that was one thing. The food, everything was so cheap compared to American currency, especially right at the end of COVID there. And so we would go around and go to a place and get like this gigantic platter of like five meals for like $5, and it was crazy to us how cheap it was there. But we were talking to them, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, we just eat like rice and chicken, 'cause that's all we can afford." We live in a whole family unit in one block. The entire family, all the cousins, aunts, uncles, everyone lives right here, and it really is so different than how we live here in America. I don't know. It was fascinating.
Do you remember the time when you forgot the wallet and we had just eaten? And can you tell about the time where everyone drives around in those motorcycles and how crazy the ride was?
Yeah, for sure. So we were at this one restaurant, and we had just eaten this most amazing meal. It was like this back end restaurant. It was like not off the beaten path, but it was like right at the end of the path. And they were so grateful to us. We were the only people there, and we showed up and we spent like that was like the most expensive meal we got. We spent like $16 or something on this gigantic, beautiful meal, right? But I was the one carrying the money, and I had like a little money patch, like right strapped to my waist all the time, and I forgot the money pouch because we just walked. We were just like wandering, walking down, and we found this beautiful place, and we ate there. And I was like, oh my god, we can't dine and dash here. I need to get back. So we ordered on what was the ride share
Yeah, I
called?
thought it was. No, it wasn't Uber. It was.
It's not Uber, but it was whatever Uber is like internationally. Um, and so I ordered one of those, and I'm talking to them. I'm like, listen, I don't have money to pay you right now, but if you bring me back to this place, I will pay you. And I said that to the restaurant person and to the Uber driver. And they show up on this. They had this little motorcycles, because motorcycles are super big, like smaller motorcycles, bigger motorcycles. They're huge, overseas, especially in Southeast Asia. And it was wild, because I get on the back of this like Uber driver's motorcycle, and we are just weaving through traffic. Like I was scared. I was hanging on for life. Like I was scared there, because he's literally like weaving through, like, oh, past this car, go over like the overpass. Let's see if we can cut through three cars at once. And he was speeding, like just down, barreling down the street. It's the most busy street, busiest at night. I we finally get there. I run and I get the pack, I get the money, and I gotta pay it. I'm like, okay, but can we be like a little bit slower on the ride back? 'Cause I was terrified. It was fun, but it was kind of horrifying.
So what was funny is the next day we were supposed to go to this theater outside, but we missed the bus, and so we had to take one of those motorcycle rides. And so Riley went first. And what I didn't know is he told the driver to go slow for me. And so when I got on the back, went really slow, and I got off and I said, "Riley, it wasn't anything." And because Riley told him to go slow. And so that was really funny. Um, what was another funny thing that happened on the trip?
Um, there was a whole lot. It was a great time, quite frankly. I don't know. Another funny thing, that's a rough one. Oh yeah, we went to this one place. So we stayed at like three different places, um, 'cause they were all so cheap. And at one of the places we went to this, it's called Monkey Forest, and it's where basically you pay some money. Did we pay? I think, yeah, we paid money. You show up and you just wander through this like forest with like all these trails and paths, and there's just tons of, I believe they're called long-tailed monkeys, and they're just these little like 1 foot to 2 foot tall, but their tails are like 2 to 4 feet like long. And there were these fascinating, like it was just so fun just being around like hundreds of monkeys in this forest in Bali. I don't know, that was such a cool trip.
Another time is I was in the swimming pool, and we had stayed right next to the swimming pool, and I'm swimming, and all of a sudden they go in and they're telling everyone, and everyone leaves, and so I thought their room was ready, and all of a sudden Riley comes out of our room, and he's like, "Mom, what are you still doing in the pool?" Well, there was an earthquake that was 3.9, and they didn't tell me to get out of the pool, and I didn't know that there was an earthquake, and so they left me in the pool while the earthquake happened. So yeah, I experienced an earthquake in the pool, and I didn't even know it.
Yeah, that was a crazy one because I remember I was laying down on the bed, and all of a sudden, like it wasn't like hard shaking, but everything started shaking, and I'm like, oh my god! And I get up, I'm like, oh my god, that was crazy, and she's just drifting in the pool, like, why is everybody freaking out? I'm like, there's just an earthquake. How did you not notice? She's like, I'm in a pool. I don't know. That was fun.
So, what did you think about Singapore that we stayed 24 hours stay there and back?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's kind of a bit of a scam. They definitely force you to stay 24 hours. We traveled through Singapore Airlines, and so you have to have like a 24-hour layover on the way there and a 24-hour layover on the way back. Um, but anyway, Singapore is a crazy city. I'm sure a lot of people have heard about it on the internet, maybe like TikTok or whatnot. There, there's like signs everywhere, all these little rules. It's fascinating, like actually seeing it, because the rules are so petty. Like you can't talk on the train, or you'll get fined on certain trains, or like you can't like chew gum on certain like blocks, or you'll get fined. So that was really funny to me. But the city itself was beautiful, I will say. We arrived the first time during the night. We arrived the first time during the night. No. We arrived the first time in Singapore, the first 24-hour layover, which is it's kind of rough because it's 24 hours. So we were there for a full day. But we arrived during the night, and then we slept in a like little mini hotel thing that was built into the airport. Which, if you haven't seen the airport, Google the Singapore airport, because that thing is absolutely massive. I mean, let me see if I can pull it up even. Um, no, but the Singapore airport, I don't know, it was crazy because it's like this massive mall that it was, I believe, like 6 stories up and then 2 basement levels. I don't know what the square footage on that, but the mall, I swear, is like a kilometer in length or something. Like that's what it felt like. And they had this gigantic waterfall that starts at the very top of the 6th story, because the entire thing is encapsulated in this giant like glass bubble. Like you feel like you're like a fish in a fishbowl, and this water is like pouring, like barreling down through into the entire thing. And this waterfall that's man-made goes all the way from the 6th floor down into the basement, down to the bottom. So all 8 floors, it barrels down. And it was crazy because I remember that night, the first night we were there, they had a light show going on, and so they're beaming these lights through the waterfall. I tried taking images of it and videos, but it did not turn out of how it actually like looked and felt. I don't know. There's something so fascinating because also like surrounding the waterfall, it's kind of designed like a coliseum. Like it's like levels building up outward, and each level is like a terrace that is like covered in trees and like greenery. And so the whole the whole thing, you can see the entirety of the green area when you're in the middle, and then as you enter like a floor, you enter like the mall rings. It's like rings of different malls, and then I believe the basement was like four large rings of like straight food. It's like four food rings. No, it's two food rings. It's a double basement, I believe.
And remember, up on top there was these walking nets, and you could do all these activities that you could do. And I think there was like a golfing up there, and like there was all these things that you could do. And remember the robots that they were cleaning robots, and I mean that was just fascinating. And then when we went into Singapore, was it coming back or the next day? We went in and the trees, those beautiful trees, and yeah. And then when we got back to Singapore,
Yeah, no. So the tree what you're talking about is the Singapore Gardens. So the first day after we slept, we got up and we went into the daytime of Singapore, and it was fascinating. We went to the Singapore Gardens, which are free to walk around, which is amazing. If you ever go to Singapore, number one thing I would say to check out is the Singapore Gardens. These massive, beautiful gardens. They have these like kind of like funnels almost, where it's like these giant, humongous. I want to say 30, 35, 40 feet tall, like funnels that are just covered in like greenery, and it has a overlook of that one beautiful Singapore building that's like the two buildings connected. Um, yeah, they also have like biospheres, like little domes, kind of like the airport. One of them was like all flowers. It was just flowers and roses everywhere you can see. I don't know if they have every flower, but it felt like they have every flower. And they had beautiful like sculptures and like these wooden carvings. One thing is, I do believe you have to. There's like it's free to wander the garden, but you do have to pay if you want to do one of the high up walks. They have like these elevated walks, and you have to pay. It's like a ticket card where you get like three activities that you pay like was it $30 for, $40? It's like $30 for like three activities or something. So there's like two spheres, there's like an elevated thing, and there's one other thing we didn't do. But there it was cool. I you don't even have to pay. I would just say just walking around those gardens was so beautiful.
but it was so hot because it was close to the equator that I could only walk a few feet, and I felt like I was gonna die. Like I felt like I was just walking into heat. Like I could not move. I was so happy that there was air conditioning inside.
Yeah, that was the big thing is like we went to Bali right for like a week, and Bali was hot, but it's a manageable level of hot because Bali it's an island, but it's not a super small island. Like Singapore is like literally just a city island. So I believe it's a city island state nation. I think it's like one of its kind, and it, it's 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 a crazy city, but it's such a unique city because it's like 4 million people live in this one city that is so tall and big, yet as a nation, it's one of the smallest in the world, and it's right there, dab smack on the equator. And since it's an island, the humidity level, like radiating straight off of the ocean, is crazy. I mean, it's I don't know if it's technically in the Pacific Ocean. I think it is, but it might be like part of the Chinese Ocean or Japanese Ocean. I don't know. But it was so hot. Just the humidity. Like I think it was only like 89 degrees or something. But the humidity that you're just feeling constantly was just it was kind of unbearable. Um but yeah, that first day, I think we went to Little India. Little India was really cool. We got some of the best Indian food I've ever had. that was a really cool first day there. You want to talk about the second day
The second day where?
in Singapore? I'll talk about the second day. I'll talk about the second day. Um, so the second day, it was nighttime. I believe it was nighttime when we arrived, but we weren't tired this time because we had got used to it. You know, the time shift after being a week in Bali, and so we were there during the night, and you just saw the whole city, 4 million people, this giant like skyscrapers alight, and we were walking down the Singapore waterfront, um, right down this river. Is a river or a canal? One of the two. It crosses through the city, and it was beautiful seeing like the light shows. We saw like the famous Singapore lion fountain thing, which is like what they're known for. We watched like the fountain light show right out there, the giant like Singapore two buildings that are connected. If you know, you know. Um, and that was so cool. Like seeing the nightlife of a massive city. I've lived in Portland my entire life, and that's Portland's a big city, but Portland's the biggest city I've been to. And Portland's a big city, but it's also spread out. Like it's like a normal urban city where the population is spread. It's not just like the downtown area. What's so fascinating about Singapore is it's just a city. Like there's no like, oh, here's the city, here's the suburbs, here's the outer city. It's like here's the city, here's the ocean. And of course it's spread out a little bit, but I don't know, it was fascinating seeing such like a nation that is just one place. I don't know. That's such a unique experience. What was really cool, we saw this one band live. It's called I believe it's called Sun Cell. That was cool. Watching like a live performance for free, just like on the side of the road after we just ate some overpriced. It was overpriced like beef. Just like a I don't even think it might have been beef and broccoli, but I think it was just a beef dish. Just beef and like rice. And they charge us like $16 for like the tiniest plate. The tiniest plate of like just beef and rice. So that's one thing.
Shocking after Bali. It was definitely shocking after Bali with the food that we got from Bali, and the food was so good in Bali. You know, it was definitely disappointing after Bali.
Yeah, that's one thing is like Singapore's so clean and everything's fashion and it's like the city of the future. But it's also just like really expensive and like the food's good, but like Bali, the food was just like amazing. Like every single place, every single dish, it was stellar. Like even I had rabbit, which was kind of unique. It had like a really gamey, like chewy texture to it. I don't know if I would have it again. The flavor was good though. Like it had good flavor, but even like rabbit like skewers tasted good in Bali. I don't know. It might have just been like being on vacation, but I swear to God, everything tasted good in Bali.
Yeah, which makes me sad because I love rabbits, and it's just hard for me to think that he ate a rabbit.
My bad, my bad. That was rough when she found out that when I was like, oh yeah, I'll have this. This sounds good, and I'm eating the skewers, and she's like, wait, what is that? I'm like, I believe it's a rabbit. um, rabbits are adorable, and I love them, but they do taste pretty good. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, okay. Let's change the subject. So, do you want to tell them where we're going next?
Yeah, I believe we touched up on this on the last episode. When we were talking to Marcus, we're going to Japan. We haven't booked any of the places yet, and we're gonna book the tickets first this time. It's definitely gonna be not a running thing that we're gonna do every time.
Oh, you're no fun.
Fair enough, fair enough. Um, but yeah, no, this time we're going to Japan. We found reasonably priced tickets. Um, I found some lodging. We're still working on the lodging. That'd be fun. We're gonna have to have a podcast episode in Japan.
Yeah.
we're gonna be there for 2 weeks. We're gonna have two in Japan. That's gonna be fun to look forward to. Um, we're doing that in September. I'm so excited. It's gonna be so much fun. I love traveling. Traveling, I don't know, traveling's so much fun. I want to travel so much more. I want to travel everywhere.
Yeah, I'm really excited because I was in Okinawa when I was 3, 4, and 5. My dad was based in Okinawa, and we used to go over to Japan. So I'm really looking forward to going back. I had such wonderful memories um, in Okinawa. I don't know. I just can't wait. I remember the smell of fish and the toys. I think that's why I have such a love of toys, and the open markets and the lanterns. So I'm just really looking forward to the trip.
Yeah, no, I'm very much looking forward to the trip for sure. It's gonna be a great time. We are unfortunately not going to Okinawa. Um, we're trying to, as I touched on last episode, we're trying to hit Tokyo, hit Kyoto. We might even be hitting. We're definitely hitting Kyoto, Osaka, and Nara. There's been a lot of debate if we're gonna go to the Mount Fuji Five Lakes. Kate really wants to go there, especially after Marcus said go hike the mountains, but you can't hike the Mount Fuji. It's not a thing you can do, but we can go check out the Five Lake region. So it's been a constant debate. Um, I don't know. Is there any? We haven't talked about Tokyo. I really want to talk about Tokyo. Is there any like thing in Tokyo have you done any research on Tokyo?
No, not a lot. I do like cities, and I am excited about Tokyo. Um, but yeah, I'm a country girl, and I do want to get out in the country and not so much the city. I don't know. I do want to be more out in the country. So, but I am interested in Tokyo, and yeah, we could spend 4 days in Tokyo. Is that what we agreed on? Is 4 days?
Yeah, we said 3 to 4, but I want 4. Especially after talking to Marcus, I want 4 days. Um, I don't know. I really, really want to hit the nightlife. Like, I want to go to the shopping districts. He was talking about Akihabara. I want to go to Akihabara, but and Shinjuku, all the big like shopping tourist destinations. But I want to go to like cafes and like bars, and I really, really want to dive into like the obscurity of Japan, because like Japan has so much like things that you don't have anywhere else, especially not in America.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I definitely want to see the obscurity of it, and I definitely want to drink sake and sing karaoke, and yeah, I'm definitely right there with you.
One sec.
Wait. Oh, I guess he's trying to get the cat.
I tried getting a cat cam, but the cat is in a hunting mood, just tried to bite me. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about Japan. Speaking of cats, cats are really big in Japan. So that's cool. They have cat cafes. Like it's a whole thing. The culture of cats and whatnot. So so yeah, no, I'm really really interested in Japan. Yeah, that's gonna be such a fun trip, and we haven't done it yet. But what would you want to do after Japan? Because I know we've talked a little bit about this, but like, what would be your next? Don't mess with the cat. It's in she's in a hunting mode. She's gonna scratch the hell out of you. When she's wagging her tail like that, that's the devious. I want to kill something hunt. Did she get you? Well, don't go near her, okay? She's clearly in that. I literally went to pet her neck, and she went to bite me. Okay, she is a puma. But yeah, like what's okay? Like I said, we haven't got to Japan yet, but what's the next trip?
I think I would like to go to Thailand or Sweden or Switzerland?
Okay, very different. That's a array of trips. Um, Thailand would be cool. I definitely want to go to Thailand. Sweden or Switzerland? Why Sweden specifically?
I don't know. It just sounded fun.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. You don't want to like hike the mountains. Tigray, you have to chill. She's gonna hit this cord. She's gonna hit this mic cord when I pass this over. She's just in a mood. Do you have a toy with you that we can get?
I do like mountains. I do love mountains.
Yeah, yes. No, I do know that. Um, but I meant like those are you chose two very specific places. Like they have mountains like anywhere. Why specifically? Like you want to go to the Swiss Alps? Yeah. Okay. But then why Sweden? I'm just a little confused.
I guess I saw Love Is Blind Sweden, and that's why I thought of Sweden.
Okay, Love is Blind. Apparently these TV shows really dictate where we go. Love is Blind, Most Amazing Vacation Rentals, where where you just scroll through Netflix and you can find every place we're gonna go to.
Yeah, that's scary because the last thing I've watched is Stranger Things, so watch out.
Oh dear God, are we going to the? Is it called the Upside Down? Are we going to the Upside Down next? That's our next trip. We get spirited away in Sweden into the Upside Down.
I did want to go see the Hobbit land in New Zealand after I watched Lord of the Rings, but it's too far away and expensive. I did see New Zealand. I did go to New Zealand, but yeah, I never wanted to go to Hobbit land because I was like, it's not worth it.
I'm going to Hobbitland someday. I don't know. I want to see those little hobbit holes. I want to see the Shire. 'Cause didn't they build out like part of it, and it's like on display now?
Yeah, they did, but I researched it and it costs so much just to get there, and then it's just this little part where it's just not worth it.
I mean, it's Lord of the Rings. It could be worth it. Like, you know, I think I would rather go to the Shire than Sweden and Switzerland. Like, I'd rather cut Sweden and Switzerland as trips and just go to the Shire.
No, but it's really hard to get there. You have to take all these buses, and then it's only like 10 acres, so it's like kind of a hokey place.
Yeah, I don't know.
And you don't even get to stay there. It's hokey.
I could stay there. I could find a way to get them to let me stay there. I'll tell you what. I could convince them. I'd be like, what if I just sleep on the ground, like just pretend like I'm in the Shire. I could be a hobbit.
It'd be different if it was a hotel. I would love that. Are you kidding me? If I could rent out the place, I would love that. But they won't let you rent it out.
Nah, we gotta go like camping. It's New Zealand. We gotta be like mountaineering. We have to like recreate the Fellowship's journey.
I'll tell you what. When I was in New Zealand and I was taking this jet ride, this really fast boat, and this hot-looking guy, he asked for a ride and he got dropped off at this lighthouse, and I was like, that's the hottest thing I've ever seen. Is he got off and he just walked up to this lighthouse, and I was like, right on, cuz he was just by himself at this lighthouse, and I was like, man, I wish I could have gotten off and just walked up and just stayed with them.
You haven't seen The Lighthouse, but I'm just imagining you and Willem Dafoe just going insane in the New Zealand lighthouse.
No, no, no. This guy did not look like that. This guy was long hair, tan. He did not look, yeah. He was, yeah.
He couldn't have passed off as Robert Pattinson. No.
No, wait. No, no. He would look like Robert Pattinson, but yeah, not like Willem Dafoe. He was like, yeah.
I mean, Robert Pattinson goes insane in that movie as well. Okay, spoiler alert.
No, what I'm saying is he had a boat that would pick him up the next week. He was just there for a week.
Yeah, that's how lighthouses work. um, and it's not a week. It's usually like a month or two. You work at the lighthouse. You have to stay there for a month or two.
So you're talking about that movie Lighthouse. So why would they go insane if they were only there for a month?
You just gotta watch the movie. Do we have time to explain the entirety of the movie? They slowly they have nothing to do. They're just stuck on a lighthouse for like months.
Oh, for months. Okay, so they didn't go insane for just 1 month.
No, that's the whole. You haven't seen the movie. You don't get it. The whole point is they don't know how long they've been there, and so he's like waking up and being like, "How long have I been here? How long have I been here?" And they start yelling. You gotta watch it. I think you would hate it, but I think you gotta watch it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not your thing, and I think you'd be like, "Why am I watching this?" But you gotta watch it. It's such a good movie.
But what if I recreate a movie called The Lighthouse in New Zealand with a really good-looking guy that he's New Zealand and I'm only there for a week with them?
I don't think I want to be a part of that movie. I would be for real. I don't think I want to be associated with anything like that.
Did this podcast just get really weird?
I don't know. I'm gonna change the subject now. Let's have a shift here. So, Kathleen, um, since we're already talking about The Lighthouse, the movie, let's talk movie talk. We've been watching a lot of movies recently. That's kind of how me and my mother, hang out. How we do our own things throughout weeks, and then we go and see the newest movie. So let's talk shop. We've seen a lot of movies. I don't remember when. Do you remember when Begonia came out? I have my phone on me. Let's Google it. Yeah, can you Google it? I don't want to put my phone on the frame. Don't want to dox my phone number. But yeah, ever since Begonia came out, which my researcher here is finding it out for me. We I think we watched like 4, maybe even less, like maybe at most.
October 31st.
Begonia came out October 31st. So until October 31st, we'd watched like 4 movies throughout all of 2025 that came out in that year. And I think we watched Sinners. Kate didn't like Sinners, but I loved Sinners. Kate thought it was okay. She's trying to justify herself. I love Sinners. We watched like Superman, which was. What did you think of Superman? I thought it was all right.
I didn't really care for it.
Yeah, we thought Superman was like all right. I don't know. I thought James Gunn. James Gunn. To be clear, me and Kate, we love James Gunn. Like, we love Guardians of the Galaxy. And so I don't know. It wasn't Guardians of the Galaxy. Then I think we watched Fantastic Four, and that was like whatever. So 2025 wasn't our years for movies. Like, we watched Sinners, and like that was it. And then all of a sudden, like October 31st hit, and then November and December, and we started watching so many movies that were just like bangers that were coming out one after another. Well, what did we watch? We watched Begonia. We watched Frankenstein. We watched Marty Supreme. We watched No Other Choice. Am I forgetting any?
Yep.
Well, what am I forgetting here?
I'm stalling because I can't remember, but they've been really good.
So I might not be forgetting any.
No, there was.
Let me check out IMDb. Who's calling me? They can wait. Okay. Let me check out IMDb. Um, ratings, movie release date. Here we go. Let's find out exactly what we've actually watched. Oh, shoot, we actually have watched a lot. Um, wow, wow. I was, oh my God, I was telling the year short. We also watched The Phoenician Scheme. I watched Mickey 17. We watched Thunderbolts. We watched K-pop Demon Hunters. I watched Memoir of a Snail. I watched Weapons. Weapons was amazing. You didn't see Weapons. I was kind of sad that Weapons didn't get nominated for anything. Like I don't think she did win Best Actress. Holy shit! Yeah, but that was like the old woman, right? Which she was great. She was great. I don't know how old she is. She's like 40. How old is she? Okay, my bad. My bad. I don't know. I just like I thought the movie was so good, but it didn't get nominated for anything besides Best Actress, which it was deserved. I'm not saying it wasn't deserved. I'm just saying I really liked the lead actress and I really liked some of the other actors. Um, but I watched Weapons. We watched Rental Family. Ooh, let's talk about Rental Family. Rental Family's not getting any love at all.
I loved Rental Family. I thought that was so incredible. It was just so touching, and Brendan Fraser did such a great job, and I just loved it. If you haven't seen it, go out and see it, or it's probably already on your TV.
Yeah, it looks like it's not on any streaming service, but you can rent it. You can rent Rental Family on Prime Video, and I recommend it. It's worth how much is renting things nowadays? Like $3.99. It's totally worth $3.99. I will say, like I said, I loved Rental Family. It was such a blast. Um, I don't know. It's just such a heartwarming story. Like we don't have enough just like heartwarming stories, you know. It's about this guy he's lonely and he's an actor and he gets into the rental business. Lately I've been watching a lot of like Japanese and Korean films, even if they are in English. I've just been loving them. Like I love the emotion, you know, just the raw feeling. Yeah. Lastly, we're just gonna wrap it up by talking about Marty Supreme, Frankenstein, and No Other Choice, which we watched back to back to back, 3 weeks back to back to back. Um, let's start with Kate. Let's start with Marty Supreme. That was the first one we watched.
I really enjoyed that. It was through and through an amazing film. It was kind of uh got my heart going. It was just like heart racing, like it was just like some parts were just whoa, his desperation. But I mean, he had to get it, he needed the money and I don't know, he was just really sure of himself and he definitely had the ego, but man, and the acting was just amazing.
Yeah, no. I will say Timothy Chalamet earned that the awards that he's been winning so far. I think he deserves the Oscar, quite frankly. Marty Supreme was fantastic. I loved the fast pace. I loved the direction, the script. I want to read that script because that script was brilliant. Just how everything was it just flowed. You know, like there was no points that felt rushed, and there's no points that felt like drawn out. Like I just loved the speed and the intensity, and just I don't know, everything about that film was amazing. Let's talk about Frankenstein here.
Oh my gosh, that was such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful film. I mean, that just really touched my heart. I love that film. I highly, highly recommend that film.
Yeah, Frankenstein. I mean, Guillermo del Toro never misses. Quite frankly, they're always every single film of his that I've seen has been an emotional ride and just heartwarming and heartbreaking. Like by the end of it, you're left in like a somber, heartwarming state, but in the middle, you're like, what? Like I don't know the portrayals of abuse. That's a trigger warning I had to put out. Is the portrayals of abuse in that film were so intense. Um, no, Frankenstein was such a good, heartwarming movie. I really loved it. It was so good. Um, that actor who plays the supporting actor so deserves any award he gets. Which I don't think he won a. Did he win a Golden Globe? He did win a Golden Globe. Did he? I don't know if he did. But he won the Critics' Choice. I think he deserves an Oscar because that was fantastic. Um, Wrapping it up for the day, I want to talk about. I don't know if it is my movie of the year. I've gone back and forth because, like I said, end of the year there is some bangers. I mean, Begonia, Frankenstein, Rental Family, Marty Supreme, but No Other Choice was so good. I personally loved No Other Choice. Let's get Kate's opinion on it.
No Other Choice was amazing. I think, Riley, you caught more of it. I don't think I understood it in an artistic way. I think you understood it more because of what you're with the film wise. I think you helped me understand it with because of the camera, and I appreciate that you uh, seeing it through your eyes. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, a little information about me. I'm trying to go into. I'm currently going to school. Kate has to get ready. We're winding down here. Kate's going to a doctor's appointment here. Should I talk like this? This is better actually. Yeah. But I saw Marty. No, we're talking about No Other Choice. I watched No Other Choice and it was just beautiful. It was funny. It was a funny film. It's inherently a funny premise. To those who don't know, the premise is that basically this guy loses his job and everything's falling apart and they're spending like he's still this engineer working at this paper mill, but he's not, and so they have to like he says I'm gonna get a job in 3 months, and I believe it's like a year passes or 13 months or whatnot, and he doesn't have a job and his life's falling apart, and he's working these odd jobs and he's losing them, and his life is paper mill. He did 20 years of it, and he's freaking out, and he's like, I can't find a stable job. I don't want to try and switch industries this late into my career. And he decides he has no other choice but to kill all of the people who are applying for the job, which is crazy. It's a crazy film. It's I believe Park Chan Woo, um, or Wook. I don't speak Korean, but Park Park, um, they direct so brilliantly, and I don't know who the cinematographer is on that one. I might have to search that one up, but the cinematography on No Other Choice was just amazing. I mean, quite frankly, um, yeah, just watching like some of the way their shots are framed. Like there's just one shot where they split the frame at an angle, and you see half of it is the beautiful, just raw footage of the ocean, and half of it is the street. And it shows the dichotomy of like nature and like industry and like the modern world versus like the natural world. And it was just like from a someone who wants to be a cinematographer, I want to be a director of photography, and I watching that film, I was like, this is truly some of the best like photography, video photography I've ever seen. Um, it's also it's a pretty like emotional film. It has great themes. Like the writing on that film was amazing. Like the writing, the direction. Um, yeah, I don't know. It was my film of the year in how it was made. It was, I think, the best made film of the year for me personally. Um, yeah, unfortunately, we're gonna have to cut this episode short today. As always, I've been your host, Riley Horan, and this has been my mother.
Thank you so much for letting me chat with you.
Yeah, real quick, at the end of our show here, I have two things I want to do. Um, First of all, is there any social media that you would like to shout out? Yeah, do you have any social media that you want people to be able to find you on?
Facebook.
Okay, but what is your Facebook? You gotta tell them.
What do you mean?
Like, what's your handle? What's your handle on Facebook?
What's the handle?
Oh, Jesus Christ! Like for example, my Instagram is rydog512, spelled RYEDOG 512. You have a handle, and it's okay. You don't have to know your handle. Find her on Facebook if you can. That's like a scavenger hunt. Try and find Kate Horan on Facebook. I'm sure you'll be able to do it. You don't know her face or anything, but I'm sure you'll find her. Um, but yeah, that's been it for today. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week on Counterpoint. Oh, last thing, are we changing the name? I learned that there's another podcast called Counterpoint, and we're on episode 2, so it's not too late to change the name and all my beautiful branding work, which is very little branding work. So yeah, leave in the comment section if you want to change the name to Counterpoint, from Counterpoint, and if you do, what should the podcast be named? Because we're in episode 2. I could change anything. I could change the format. I can have 12 people on the next episode. I don't know. We're just figuring it out here. But thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you on the next one.